I mean, it looks way better than I thought it would. Alright, so I bought some cheap ass Amazon microphones that I just tried to record the intro and the outro to this video because in the process of this, I forgot all about an intro and an outro. Whatever, it's cool. We got a little overzealous one night after I put the drums on, which is later in the video. You can skip ahead if you want to see that. Did some time lapsing of that. So we got the drums put on. Everything's good with the drums. It's working. We're able to put them on, bleed the brakes. The rear end is done. In a late night, me, cameraman, and Timbo, we were here, went and drove it. My neighbor has a field at his house, which is a little bit easier to turn around in, especially when you're just testing everything. It's a whole lot easier just to come out and go up there, spin around, whatever. Ended up talking to him, drove by his house, hollered at him. He came over here. We set the bed on. Yeah, a little ahead of schedule. I know. Don't worry about it. It's a little ahead of schedule, but it's cool. Let's talk about the issues that we're having right now. So when we put the bed on, we knew that the wheelbase was going to be, I can't remember the exact numbers of the wheelbase. I think this is like 165.5 or point something. It doesn't matter. The other one was like 162, 163 or something. So the wheelbase difference, we hoped that it wouldn't be that noticeable once we put the bed on, and maybe the tire would end up closer to the center of the wheel well. It obviously didn't. The bed actually still needs to slide forward a little bit more, but the flatbed that was previously on the bed has some angle iron that's hanging over a little bit too far. So I've had a couple different ideas on how to fix this, and the easiest way to do it would be take this wheel arch and come, over, give it the same amount of gap on the front as the back here, and put a fender flare right here, which would work and it would be okay, but since it's a long bed, you have more bed in between the wheelbase, obviously. That sounds stupid. And you're basically going to kill out a lot back here, because if your fender flare, if your dually flare ends right here, you only have this much room of bed space. I mean, you could like short it up, but you're wanting to cut over to potentially here, maybe somewhere right there. So your dually flare starts right here and both, I don't know. That's the easiest way to do it. I don't really know how I feel about it, but it's been an idea that's been thrown at me. So just putting it out there in the ethos or whatever's out there. The other option is, this is a really good idea. I didn't even think about this. I was just kind of flipping because of where the tire was sitting at, but I need to check and see if on the leaf spring, if the axle is centered or if it's offset one way or the other. If it's offset to the rear, potentially I could flip the leaf springs around and see what pinion angle looks like, all that of course. But potentially I could just flip the leaf springs around and it would pull the axle forward. If it is offset, half an inch, 2 inches, it might not be. I'll just have to take it off and look, take the bed back off, or crawl up under there and look and see if I can tell if it is offset or not. That's a good idea because that is the minimal way to do it and to get it back on the road. And I'm game with that idea. And the last idea is probably honestly the best idea, but it's the most expensive route. And it's probably the route that I will go. It's the route that I've wanted to go with the truck. I just don't know if I can afford that route yet. But it would be to do a 4-link conversion on the truck and do a 4-link rear end. And it would be the easiest. I would be able to put airbags on the back. I would be able to have it, dump out, sit on the ground, pick up, and, it is an option. And it's the number one option. It's just not the option right now, I don't think. So I'm pretty much a dumbass, and that whole little section I was just talking and doing whatever I was doing in was actually a time lapse, and there's no audio, and I probably just fast forwarded being an idiot. But I got a little rambunctious with the, I still don't know if I'm saying that word right. Forgive me if I'm not. But I got a little, whatever that word is, with the air gun, trying to seat these studs all the way. You can't really see in here. I'm going to flip it your way. It doesn't necessarily matter if they seat all the way, because once you put torque on them, I think I've already explained this, but just use a torque wrench when you tighten up your back wheels and make sure that you have torque. Check them every 50 miles for a little while. Next thing is, these are the bearings and the lock rings. The lock rings don't necessarily matter, but I did buy new grease. I'm going to grease the front bearing. I've looked at the back bearings. The back bearings look okay. I actually put paper towels down in here on the back side of them so no dirt fell down inside them. They're still greasy. I'll grease the shaft for the back bearings. I guess I'm gonna put some gear oil inside this hub too, just to have a little bit of extra oil in there moving around. I don't know if it's necessary or not. I don't like the fact that there could potentially be a friction point, even though there's bearings, with no oil to help keep it cool over there. So I never claimed to be a professional, just so you know. I'm going to go back with what I saw when I took it apart and what I've seen on the internet so far. There is oil in this hub, and there is grease on these bearings. That's what I'm going to do. Much longer. I hope this was a short and informational video. I don't like to just waste time. I would rather get all my content out there and get it over with. So if you enjoyed the video, let me know. Like, comment, subscribe, whatever you feel like you need to do, or if you feel like you don't need to do anything. I just appreciate you coming by and watching the video. If you enjoy the content, I'm going to do my best to keep it up. And yeah.